You evil man. You wanted to destroy me, but you forgot who built you.
That was the last thing Maya Okoro whispered under her breath as she stared at the open laptop screen glowing in the dark. Her chest rose and fell with quiet fury. On the screen before her was an email that wasn't meant for her eyes, an email that would change her life forever. David, her husband of 6 years, had left his laptop open on the kitchen counter that night. He was upstairs, probably in the shower, humming like a man with nothing to hide. But he did have something to hide, and Maya had just found it. The email thread was titled, Divorce Strategy. Her heart skipped. She clicked it, hesitating for just a moment, but curiosity and instinct pushed her forward. What she saw made her knees weak. We proceed next week, the message read. She has no idea. Frame her emotional instability. Use the doctor's report. She'll lose everything. She'll beg before she knows what's happening. It was from her husband to his lawyer, Mr. Lawson. And at the bottom of the message, the line that froze her completely. She'll never see it coming. Her vision blurred. For a moment, the room around her spun. The marble floors, the expensive gold vase on the counter, the flickering candlelight from the scented candles she'd bought that morning. Everything blurred into a painful fog. Maya sat down, staring at the words again and again, reading them like a bad dream. David wasn't just planning to divorce her. He was planning to ruin her. She scrolled through more messages. There were attachments, property documents, fake reports with her signature, and even a psychiatric evaluation she had never taken. They were creating evidence to make her look mentally unstable. Her lips trembled. She was known in Lagos as one of the calmest and most respected women in the business world. CEO of Maison de Maya, a luxury skincare empire valued at over $400 million. And yet, the man she trusted most was secretly plotting to steal everything she had built. For a brief moment, anger consumed her, hot, sharp, and dangerous. She wanted to storm upstairs and throw the laptop at his face. She wanted to scream, to ask him why, to break the expensive wine glass on the counter just to feel something other than betrayal. But then she stopped. Maya Okoro wasn't the kind of woman who screamed. She was a woman who planned. So, instead of shouting, she took a deep breath, picked up her phone, and began taking screenshots of everything. One by one. The emails, the attachments, the hidden folders. Every single thing that could prove what he was doing. Then she quietly sent them to her private email, one he didn't know existed. After that, she wiped the history clean and closed the laptop just as she heard footsteps coming down the stairs. David appeared in his silk robe, smiling lazily. "Still awake?" he asked. "You should sleep early, love. You look tired." She forced a smile. "Just reading emails," she replied softly. He leaned over and kissed her forehead. "Always working," he teased. "That's my strong woman." Her stomach churned at the irony. She nodded, smiled again, and said, "Good night, David." As he walked away, Maya's eyes followed him coldly. Every muscle in her face stayed calm, but inside she was shaking. She went upstairs after him, climbed into bed, and lay silently next to the man who had written her destruction into an email chain. He fell asleep quickly, like a man at peace. But Maya stayed awake, staring at the ceiling. Her mind was already running, fast, sharp, methodical. She remembered something her late mother once said. When a snake lives in your house, you don't fight it in anger. You wait, you move quietly, and you strike when it least expects it. That night, Maya Okoro decided she would not cry. She would not shout. She would not beg. She would destroy David, quietly, completely, and without warning. As the clock struck 3 a.m., she got out of bed, walked to her home office, and wrote one word on a notepad. Freedom. Under it, she added a date, 1 week from that night. That was the day she planned to move her entire $400 million fortune out of David's reach forever. The next morning, the air in the Okoro mansion was thick with quiet tension, though only one person could feel it. Maya woke up before sunrise, her body still stiff from the sleepless night. She stood by the floor-to-ceiling window of their master bedroom, staring out at the city skyline. The glow of Lagos shimmered like a field of diamonds in the distance, the same city where she had built her empire from nothing. Behind her, David still slept peacefully, his hand lazily resting across her pillow. She looked at him with an expression that wasn't love or hate, just realization. The man she once adored was now a stranger wearing her husband's face. The clock read 5:47 a.m. Maya took a long, quiet breath and turned away from the window. She had promised herself last night that there would be no tears. And she meant it. She went into the bathroom, splashed her face with cold water, and looked in the mirror. Her reflection was calm, elegant, unshaken. "Control," she whispered to herself. He must never suspect a thing. Downstairs, the mansion was silent except for the soft hum of the refrigerator. The marble kitchen glowed under the golden lights. Maya began preparing breakfast, not because she wanted to, but because today was the first day of her performance. She would play her role so convincingly that David wouldn't smell the storm brewing beneath her smile. By the time he came down, the smell of freshly baked bread and coffee filled the house. "Wow," David said, surprised. "You're up early. This looks amazing." She turned with a soft smile. "Just thought we could have breakfast together for once." He chuckled, still in his robe, rubbing his eyes. "That's my wife. Always thoughtful." He didn't know that every word he spoke sounded to her like a lie rehearsed for months. They sat at the table. David talked about a meeting he had later with some investors. Maya knew what that really meant. His lawyer, probably discussing how to finalize the plan against her. But she kept nodding and asking polite questions, even laughing softly when he cracked a joke. Inside her, her mind was spinning fast, planning every detail. She needed to protect her company's accounts, her properties in Banana Island and Cape Town, her art collections, and her jewelry assets. But she had to do it quietly, without alerting him or his financial spies. After breakfast, David kissed her cheek and said, "I'll be home late. Don't wait up." She smiled. "I won't." The moment he walked out, her smile disappeared. She dropped her coffee mug into the sink and clenched her fists. The sound of the door shutting behind him felt like a gun trigger. She went straight to her home office, a sleek room filled with soft cream furniture, glass shelves, and floor-length curtains. On her desk sat her laptop and a silver-framed photo of her and David taken years ago during their honeymoon in Paris. She stared at it for a long moment, then turned it face down. She opened her laptop and began her first move, protecting her digital empire. Maya had built Maison de Maya from her dorm room 12 years ago, selling homemade shea buttercreams online. Today, her products were sold in over 20 countries, and her signature gold serum was endorsed by celebrities. She had worked too hard to let anyone take it from her, not even her husband. She began checking her company's online banking accounts, corporate documents, and business partnerships. Everything was still intact, for now. But she could see some strange logins from a new IP address. She guessed David had already begun snooping through her records. Calmly, she called her personal assistant, Lola. "Good morning, Ma," Lola said. "Morning," Maya replied softly. "I want you to schedule a meeting with Aisha Bello for this afternoon. Keep it private. No one else must know." "Yes, Ma." Aisha Bello, her lawyer and one of the few people she trusted completely, had handled some of Maya's biggest business deals. If anyone could help her outsmart David, it was Aisha. Maya then sent herself copies of the screenshots she'd taken last night to a hidden email account registered under a fake name. She printed them out too, sealed them in a brown envelope, and locked it in a drawer inside her walk-in closet. At noon, she dressed up in a crisp white blazer, gold jewelry, and her signature scent, something that smelled like quiet power. She looked in the mirror once more and whispered, "Let the game begin." Before leaving, she glanced at the bedroom where David's robe still hung. She didn't know what hurt more, his betrayal, or the fact that he thought she was weak enough to lose everything without a fight. As her driver pulled the black Rolls-Royce Phantom out of the mansion gates, Maya leaned back and looked out the window. Legos buzzed outside, loud, chaotic, alive. But inside that car, everything was silent. The calm before the storm. And Maya Okoro was ready to strike, one move at a time. Maya Okoro sat in her Rolls-Royce that afternoon, staring out the tinted window as her driver weaved through the busy streets of Victoria Island. The car's interior smelled faintly of white jasmine and leather, her favorite scent combination. She had learned long ago that power had a fragrance, and calmness was a luxury few could afford. Her mind was calm, but her heart burned. Every image from the night before replayed in her head. The subject line, divorce strategy. The lawyer's name, the fake psychiatric report. Her husband's betrayal wasn't just emotional. It was strategic, financial, and deliberate. Now it was her turn to play the same game, only smarter. By the time the car pulled up at the glass tower where her law firm's offices were located, Maya had already opened her phone gallery. Hidden there, behind an innocent-looking folder labeled skincare photos, were over 40 screenshots, the emails, the documents, the evidence of David's deceit. She clutched her handbag tighter. Those screenshots were her armor now, the silent weapons of a woman underestimated. The elevator doors opened with a soft chime, and she stepped out gracefully, heels clicking on the polished marble floors. The receptionist at Bello and Associates immediately stood up. "Good afternoon, Mrs. Okoro," she greeted warmly. Maya smiled faintly. "Good afternoon. I'm here to see Aisha." Within minutes, she was in Aisha Bello's office, a stunning space lined with mahogany shelves and large windows that looked out over the lagoon. Aisha, elegant and composed as always, rose to hug her. "Maya, you look pale. What's wrong?" Maya didn't speak at first. She placed her handbag on the table, unzipped it, and slowly pulled out the brown envelope she'd prepared earlier. "I found this on David's laptop last night," she said quietly. "You should see it." Aisha opened the envelope and began scanning through the printed screenshots. With every new page, her eyebrows arched higher. She read the lines under her breath. The fake reports, the financial schemes, and David's plan to make Maya appear unstable. When she finally looked up, her voice was low but firm. "This is not just betrayal, Maya. This is fraud. It's conspiracy. If this goes to court, he could lose everything." Maya leaned back, her tone steady. "That's what I plan to ensure, but not yet." Aisha studied her. "What do you mean?" "I don't want him to know I've seen this," Maya replied. "If he finds out too soon, he'll hide the rest of his assets, or worse, destroy the evidence. I need time, exactly 1 week. During that week, I'll move my fortune quietly out of his reach." Aisha nodded slowly. "Then we'll do it carefully. I can help you transfer your holdings through our international legal partners, discreetly. But you'll need to act like nothing's wrong." Maya gave a bitter smile. "I've been doing that all morning." Aisha took her hand. "This will be a silent war, Maya. He's counting on your emotions, but we'll give him reason to fear your intelligence instead." As they discussed the legal process, Maya's phone buzzed. It was a text from David. "Dinner at 8. Got good news to share." She stared at it for a moment, lips curling slightly. "Good news," she murmured. "We'll see about that." Aisha noticed her tone. "Play along. Let him talk. Every conversation from now on could be evidence." Maya nodded. "I'll record everything." When she left the office, she felt lighter, not because the pain had faded, but because she finally had a plan. She had something stronger than anger now, purpose. That night, she returned home early and set up a hidden folder on her cloud drive labeled travel receipts. Inside, she stored every screenshot, voice memo, and email related to David's betrayal. She encrypted it with a code only she and Aisha knew. At 8 p.m., David arrived, cheerful as ever. He walked into the dining room holding a bouquet of white roses. "For my queen," he said smoothly, handing them to her. Maya smiled and accepted them. "Thank you. You're full of surprises these days." He grinned, taking his seat. "Wait till you hear my good news. I might finally close the deal with the investors next week." "Investors?" she repeated softly, stirring her drink. "That's wonderful." But inside, she knew exactly what he meant by investors, his secret lawyer, Mr. Lawson. As they ate dinner, Maya kept her phone subtly on the table, recording every word. She laughed at his jokes, asked questions, even complimented his new watch. To anyone else, it looked like a happy dinner between a loving couple. But under that perfect candlelight, a war had already begun, silent, calculated, and deadly. When he finally leaned back and said, "You really make me happy, Maya," she looked him in the eye and smiled. "I know," she replied. "That's what makes it easier for you to trust me." He laughed, not understanding the hidden venom in her tone. That night, after he fell asleep, she took her laptop again, copied every new file she had recorded, and whispered to herself. Phase 1 complete.